Right now at 5, levy elections underway in Idaho. We'll break down what's at stake and what voters are saying.
A few scattered showers this evening, but we're talking a lot more sun in the forecast in the coming days. I'll break it all down.
I would hope, first and foremost, they don't see a lot of impacts into the key essential services, those core services around healthcare, food, housing the government provides.
Washington Governor Gov Ferguson expected to sign the state budget today. We'll have the latest from Olympia. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. If you are a voter in North Idaho, the clock is ticking because in just a few hours, voting locations for the May 2025 consolidated election will close. KREM 2's Regan Gallo live in Kootenai County tonight. And Regan, what do voters need to know about this spring election?
You can see I'm at one of the designated voting locations here in Coeur d'Alene. This is precinct 415. Now, I was also just down the road at the Kootenai County Elections Office today with many confused voters. Now, you have to go to your correct precinct based on your correct address for voting.
It's elections time again in Idaho, and with just a few more hours to get votes in, Kootenai County election staff encourage voters to visit voteidaho.gov to find your voting location and also to check out a sample ballot.
And we do have all precincts operating this election, so everyone has something to vote on.
And if you have an absentee ballot at home, you must bring it to the elections office tonight.
If you have an absentee ballot still outstanding, you can return it back to our elections office. It has to be here at this location by 8 p.m. to count. You cannot return it at your polling location. It has to be dropped off at our elections office.
I talked to some voters who had questions on where to go and what to do to make sure their vote gets in.
What they should do is come to this location here on 4th Street. They'll look up their address and then tell them where they can go vote, and they'll give them the exact address.
Do not wait for the last minute because you will probably show up to a poll place that isn't open any longer and have no idea where to go.
And on the back of the ballot, on the absentee, it actually says the Kootenai County Elections Department has that entire breakdown of where to come and drop it off at.
They are extremely helpful inside in the Kootenai County Elections Department. Superb.
Election officials also say it's important to leave your phone number on your voter registration form or absentee form in case they need to call voters tonight to verify unmatched signatures.
Now, if you're planning to still get your vote in, remember it needs to be in by 8 p.m. tonight, and final results for the election will be formalized Thursday, May 29th. I'm reporting in Coeur d'Alene, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
All right, Regan, thank you very much. Let's talk weather on this Tuesday evening. We saw a little more sunshine today, but still some showers, windy as well. Let's get outside right now to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy the Goo. Jeremy, I hate to admit this, but every time we come out to you, I kind of hope it's raining on you, and it hasn't been raining on you so far.
I know, I've gotten really lucky the past couple of days, and it looks like one more chance, maybe tomorrow. One more chance, maybe tomorrow, and that is all you get. The rest of the week, it looks much, much drier and much, much warmer. All right, well, we have a couple of isolated thunderstorms today. Most of those staying a little bit farther off to the north. That's where we're seeing a bulk of our activity and a couple of rumbles of thunder up there as these showers move through. Those showers are quickly going to work their way out as the sun sets. A little bit of activity down to the south, Coeur d'Alene moving out of Mount Spokane, and then Sandpoint, a couple of light showers moving through. Once again, most of this just moves out as the sun sets. It's slow moving again tonight, and we don't have much energy. So tonight we don't get that late night round of thunderstorms. Tomorrow it looks like we wake up to clouds, a couple, and most of our activity, the chance of light showers, stays up high in the mountains. None of that comes down low, and we wind up pretty sunny. Next chance of rain, first Thursday morning, then Thursday evening. That Thursday evening shot is Mark's best chance at catching me with a little bit of rain before we just sun up and warm up. Here it goes, full 7 days on this one. 63 tomorrow and mostly sunny. Scattered showers Thursday. We're in the upper 60s on Friday with increasing sunshine throughout the day. And then Memorial Day weekend looking fantastic. 70s on Saturday and Sunday, 80s by Monday.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much. This morning, Washington Governor Gov Ferguson signed a bill regarding gun sales. Under the law, you'll eventually need a permit to purchase a gun in the state of Washington. The governor says too many communities and families have been torn apart by gun violence. Under the law, the training needed to buy a gun will also expand, and that training will include live fire training. The law goes into effect in 2027. The bill's sponsor says they worked for 10 years to get this passed.
I know this bill, simply put, will save lives, and we couldn't have done it without all of the advocates here today and the ones who aren't here today, who testify, who march in the streets.
Representative Berry there says next year she wants to pass a law requiring gun owners to lock up their weapons at home and in their vehicles. Future legislation could also include a ban on how many weapons someone can buy in a given year. Well, today, Governor Ferguson also signed the budget into law. This budget focused heavily on cutting down on the deficit through tough cuts to programs all across the state. It also includes new taxes. KREM 2's Caitlin Galloway joining us live in the newsroom tonight to break down what the budget means for Eastern Washington. Caitlin?
Well, thanks, Mark. A few hours before the bill was signed this afternoon, one Washington state senator told me he believes the state managed to balance the deficit it's facing while still keeping essential services intact, especially for the state's most at-risk populations. Senator Marcus Riccelli serves on the Senate Ways and Means Committee, which oversees two of the state's three major budgets. The operating budget is what funds most of the government. The transportation budget manages funding for Spokane Public Transit and the Spokane Corridor Project, which remains under the newly approved budget. Riccelli says the goal was to balance the budget while still protecting the state's most at-risk populations by prioritizing funding in key areas. The approved budget also allocates funding for Maddie's Place, Alexandria's House, Salish School of Spokane, and the Spokane Police Training Facility.
I think a balanced, responsible budget is the way to go, that particularly one that doesn't hurt our most vulnerable and make sure that the key services are being funded, and some space for growing things like funding in education, housing, food assistance, healthcare.
Something Riccelli said he's disappointed didn't make it into the budget bill is funding for the Washington State University Team Health Building, which trains future healthcare professionals in a simulated environment. Mayor Lisa Brown's office says they're still reviewing the budget changes and will have a statement in the coming days. In the newsroom, Caitlin Galloway, KREM 2 News.
We are just getting started on KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. Here's what's still ahead.
It's a positive story because it's really addressing an issue that we have here, the housing crisis.
The city of Spokane saw a record number of housing permits in 2024. What's driving the increase and what it means?
Well, you could probably hear it before I tell you, but construction season is officially here. Find out how this one right behind me on Hartson Avenue is aimed at protecting kids and community members on the South Hill.